Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the morning routine. It is Monday morning, November the 13th, 2017, episode number 216. And yes, it's Monday morning, but more importantly, it is 10 days till Thanksgiving. 10 days till homemade stuffing. 10 days till fresh cranberry sauce. 10 days till some kind of a sweet potato dish. 10 days until pie. Like lots of pie, 10 days to spending an afternoon hanging out with friends and family and relatives and enjoying the day and being thankful. 10 days until one of the greatest days of the year. So the countdown begins. I love Thanksgiving, as you know. I've been talking about it already for over a week. Once the calendar turned to November, it's all that's on my mind. And we are quickly going there. And as you guys know, because I've shared it before in my work, I'm a produce guy, and sweet potatoes are going like crazy. Oh my goodness. Tractor trailer after tractor trailer after tractor trailer. You would think that this is the only time in the year that people eat sweet potatoes, because the amount of sweet potatoes that are on the road and being loaded and packed up is insane compared to what it normally is. It's quite amazing. So I hope everybody enjoys their sweet potatoes for Thanksgiving. 10 days to go. So, but why not? Let's focus on right now. How was your weekend, guys? I hope you had a good one. Mine was a normal weekend, right? So went out, did some shopping with not even shopping because we didn't buy anything, looking around in stores with my wife, which was great, and had some things that we had to look around for, so we were out doing that on Saturday, and then yesterday was an awesome day. Went to church in the morning. Fantastic message, very compelling about the power of our words. It was amazing. And then the rest of the day got some work done and then chilled out, watched some football with number uno Sano, the oldest one. So, a typical weekend. So I hope your weekend was exceptionally well as well. So I've got some stories for you today. Today, articles that I have for you sharing, they'll all be on the morning routine under freedomconvo.com, of course. So the link so you can read the articles in their entirety. Very simple ones. Nothing too educational today. More of just, interesting stuff that I saw, So the first one that I have here is we have talked about this before in a more general way. And it's still, every time I see something like this, it just blows my mind that it's just amazing that sand, like the stuff that gets in your shorts and you can't stand it, that kind of sand, that there is a shortage of sand. I don't get it. Like, every time I hear the idea that there's a shortage of sand, I'm like, how can it be? Like, the ocean bottom is filled with sand. Every coastline is covered in sand. Like, how can there be a shortage? Every desert is filled with, how can there be a shortage? It makes no sense. But yet, there's a shortage of sand. South Florida wants to import sand from the Bahamas, which is right now against the law. Like, this is, I don't know. Miami-Dade County lost 170,000 cubic yards of sand during Hurricane Irma. It's the latest blow to South Florida beaches in perennial decline. Nearly half of the state's coast, 411 miles worth of beach, is considered critically eroded. Now, in my mind, if it's critically eroded, that means the sand is now down below the water. So why can't they bring in these dredge machines or whatever, just like grab the sand and whoop, pull it right back up? I'm not a sand expert, as you can tell. For years, Florida beach managers have raced to find convenient sources of cheap offshore sand. But the good stuff is running out. Currently, the protocol is to truck in sand from inland mines. Florida engineers and politicians, they want to buy it abroad. Unfortunately for them, it's basically illegal, thanks to a provision of a 1986 environmental law that all but bars federal spending on foreign sand. Florida reps are pushing anew to scuttle that requirement, which would allow Florida counties to buy sand from the Bahamas. Meanwhile, the world, and this is the article that we shared months ago, faces an extreme global sand shortage. Again, I don't get it. I can't even wrap my head around how you can have a shortage of sand. It doesn't make sense, but it is. It's a reality. So there you go. But I don't know. So that's that story. This one is cool. I read this article on, let's see here, on Friday night or Saturday night. I can't remember which day it was. I read this article. And yesterday, when I was watching football with my boy, I was keeping an eye out after reading the information on this thing. And sure enough, I saw exactly what they were talking about. And this is amazing. Listen to this. The NFL's salty secret was what the title of this article is. The ammonia-based inhalant. Yes, smelling salts. The ammonia-based inhalant is manufactured for the express purpose of treating or preventing fainting, but at some point, NFL players and other athletes discovered they could repurpose the decongestant properties and adrenaline-pumping side effects into a perfectly legal, low-tech pick-me-up, even though there's zero proof of any performance benefit. Now, if you watch any NFL game now, you will catch these guys with smelling salts in their hands. You'll catch. I saw yesterday. Once prescribed to Victorian-era women plagued by fainting spells, ammonia inhalants are now manufactured in a single-use capsule the size of a small stick of gum. For most of you, probably have seen one of these before. Each sealed with white plastic wrapper contains a 0.3 milliliter mix of alcohol, 35%, ammonia, 15%, water, oils, and red dye that when crushed between two fingers stains the wrapper and a telltale pink sign. Aerated by the alcohol, the ammonia fumes pack such a rancid punch that'll snap your head back. The initial discomfort is quickly followed by a sensation that your breathing pathways have not just opened up, but expanded exponentially while ramping up your alertness to an almost euphoric level. This phase, though, is short-lived. So, NFL players now are cracking these things like candy, like going through them. Like every series of downs, they crack it before they go on the field. You'll see the ground covered in these little white pieces of flecks of paper, it looks like, but they're actually ammonia capsules. It is insane. Meanwhile, there's no scientific proof that it actually does what they think it does, which is kind of a funny part. It's it's almost like a placebo thing. The company that manufactures these capsules has repeatedly stated the product is designed to treat or prevent fainting. A company spokeswoman had no response when asked about the widespread misuse of smelling salts in the NFL. Ignoring the topic seems to be the common response when it comes to the league's secret little helper. Now, in the past, they have been routinely used to mask and combat concussion symptoms in sports. And that is why the practice of smelling salts has been banned for decades by the major boxing organizations. Interesting, right? In college football, salts are already common. Here is the point. This is the one that I wanted to get to. They want the NFL to outlaw ammonia before the league's huffing habit becomes just as widespread on the high school level, where there isn't enough medical supervision to prevent the use of ammonia to mask conditions such as asthma, dehydration, and head injuries. Whatever they do in the NFL works its way down into where the kids are, which is high school and even peewees. And if nobody is monitoring that, misuse can become a real issue. So, very interesting. Smelling salts are the newest abused item in the NFL. Crazy. So, one last little story for you guys. I thought this was kind of interesting. I don't know. I don't know if I would use one. I think it could be educational. I think it would be great maybe for parents, like helicopter parents, because they could slap one of these on their kids, and then, like, instead of constantly on them when the thing said it's time. But listen to this. It's a UV sensor that's in beta testing right now. Okay, it's not available as of right now. It is called a temporary tattoo called the Logic Ink UV. Is chemically designed to react to UV intensity by changing color. So, we're talking about UV that you get from the sun from being outside. Many are unaware, for example, that UV exposure can still be unhealthy even if it's cloudy, or if they're standing partially in the shade. Even someone dedicated to reapplying sunscreen may have trouble tracking how much sun they've gotten throughout the day. This little tattoo sticker thing you would take off and stick it on your arm or your hand or on somebody else's, right? The center ring changes from white to purple to show how harsh the sun is at a given time. Throughout the day, as UVB and UVA exposure accumulates, the outer ring turns bright pink in 3 different segments that correspond to the daily limit for light, medium, and dark skin tones. As the segment for your skin type lights up, you know that you've reached your limit and need to take action. It's kind of cool. Like I said, like if you were worried that your kids were getting too much exposure, you could put it on them, and when you just tell them, instead of always like chasing them around, just tell them, hey, when that turns this color, it's time to come in, or something like that. I don't know. I guess I wouldn't use it. Let's be honest. But but I'm one of those guys, you know. So I think it's very interesting. I think it's a unique idea for people who are trying to pay attention and monitor how much UV rays they are getting. So I like that idea about it. But I don't know, new product. So on we go, guys. Google Trends. Top 10 most searched things yesterday on Sunday. Number 1, Alabama football was number 1 on an NFL day. Look at that. Number 2, the Patriots. Number 3, Green Bay Packers. Number 4, Minnesota Vikings. Number 5, Detroit Lions. All right. So you've got AFC team, then you got Packers, Vikings, Lions. All NFC division teams. Look at that. Interesting. Number 6, Brett Ratner. Number 7, Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 8, Butch Jones. Number 9, Carrie Underwood. Number 10, Lonzo Ball. And there you have it. Those are the top 10 most searched things. I don't see anything exciting in that at all. So it's kind of, football and stuff. So, but anyways, whatever. Trending news, top of the list. Jacques Lambie may quit Parliament within 24 hours. That's in Australia. And it's ranking at the top of our trending news on Facebook today. Look at that. Next, Joe Biden. Joe Biden leaves 2020 question open as book tour begins. Great. Next, Liz Smith. Liz Smith, premier gossip columnist, dies at 94. Next, we have U.S. Geological Survey. At least 330 killed as massive earthquake hits Iran-Iraq border. Wow. I never heard. I didn't know about that. Next, Saad Hariri warns Lebanon faces Arab sanction risks to return in days. Okay. Above my pay grade. Next, Mall of America. 2 stabbed at Mall of America in Minnesota. Next, Adrian Claiborne. Claiborne racks up 6 sacks and Falcons win. That was impressive, by the way. Next, Vladimir Putin. Former U.S. intelligence agencies. Trump being played by Putin. Next, Sean Hannity. Advertisers ditch Sean Hannity over his coverage of Roy Moore's alleged pursuit of teens. And that is our trending. Man, there's nothing even exciting in the trending news today, man, guys. Between Google Trends and trending news is an uneventful Monday morning. So let's move on, guys. Let's go get ourselves a passage of wisdom, something that we know is going to be much more compelling and important to our day here on a Monday. So today's passage of wisdom, guys, is a bit of truth that I have experienced. It's quite amazing. And it stinks, but it's true. But it's a tension passage. That's it. So 2 verses today. We're going to be in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 9 and 10 edited. Okay, there's little pieces in 9 and 10 that I took out just to make it flow a little bit, to bring the main thought through. Feel free to look it up and read them in entirety. I have not altered their, just made it more streamlined. So 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 9 and 10. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. That is why I delight in weakness, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. Now, let's just read that one more time, guys. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. That is why I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. The point of this, guys, is very evident. It's not hidden. and you don't need a secret decoder ring. That in our weaknesses, when we are feeling weak and we are insulted and in hardship and persecuted and having difficulties in life, that is when we are the strongest in our relationship with Christ, and when we lean on him the most, and when we experience his true grace and strength and love. And it stinks that for many times we have to get there, to that place, to understand and feel God's great love. The problem is with us, though, because when things are great, when things are going good, when everything is lined up, we go, look at what I've done. Look at what I'm capable of. We don't say, look at the strength that God has helped me to get to here and the gifts and the blessings that he has given. We look at ourselves and we forget about God as we revel in our victory and in our great times. But when we feel weaknesses and hardships and difficulties and sorrow, then all of a sudden we feel the strength of God because we depend on him to get through those. It's very, very interesting. It's kind of sad though, right? Wouldn't it be great to feel his strength and be the most strong and feel his grace and love when things are going great? Well, guess what? You can. It's just a matter of switching how we think. We have to depend on him and include him and ask him for direction even when things are great, not just when things are bad. So great passage this morning. And that's something for us to think about today. How much are we really depending on him in our day-to-day activities when things are going great? Are we asking for direction? Are we really focusing on what it is that he wants for us? It's a great question. But let's pray, guys. Let's get this day started. Father, good morning. Father, thank you for this Monday morning, the start to yet another week. Another week of opportunity, another week of chances for us to encourage people, to be a blessing to people, to achieve things that we are hopeful in achieving, to accomplish goals that you have put on our hearts and that we'd like to do ourselves. And we're so excited on a Monday morning to look at the week that's in front of us, just waiting for us to embrace it. Father, we don't know what each day holds. We have no idea. And we hope that we get to experience each and every one of them. Today, though, be with us today. Give us the strength of today to go through this day dependent on you and experiencing your strength and your grace and your love without having to be in tough times and facing difficulties. Father, if we are facing difficulties today, for those who are, wrap your arms around them. Show them your grace and love and your strength. Hold them up. In some way, may they feel your love as you wrap your arms around them and care for them as your own child. Father, I thank you as well for yesterday, as 21 students yesterday were baptized at the local church here. The families that will change, the people, the volunteers who have spent so much time serving those kids. What a great, an amazing day. What a win. Father, be with us today. Give us strength as we go through our day. We love you. Amen. And that, my friends, is a wrap. Thanks for being here this morning on the morning routine. I hope that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. And until tomorrow morning, when we meet yet again, don't forget that today you can be exactly who you were meant to be. I love you guys.